Breaking news involving your money.
Just moments ago, the Federal Reserve decided to keep interest rates where they are after 3 straight cuts. This is the first time since July the central bank has decided not to move interest rates. In about 30 minutes, we're expecting Fed Chair Jerome Powell to speak about that decision. It will also be the first time Powell faces reporters since his rare video announcement published earlier this month. In it, he said the Department of Justice had been served by the Fed. Had served the Fed with grand jury subpoenas. The DOJ had served them.
NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans is at the Federal Reserve headquarters in Washington, D.C. Christine, to start, why did the Fed decide to pause rates, and what does this mean for folks at home?
Yeah, I mean, after 3 rate cuts last year, 6 rate cuts since 2024, the Fed now in a holding pattern here, not really giving many clues to when it could begin cutting interest rates again. 10 of the 12 members voted to keep rates steady. 2 wanted a quarter-point rate cut, so the Fed keeps rates unchanged here. The Fed noting that the overall economy is growing at a solid pace. It gives them some breathing room here. They note that job gains have remained low, but the job market seems to have stabilized. At the same time, you've got inflation that is still somewhat elevated, in the Fed's words, a little higher than the Fed would like to see. So as it sort of weighs these 2 dueling mandates, right? Supporting the job market, but making sure inflation doesn't get too hot. It's going to stand pat here for now.
Christine, I want to ask about the U.S. dollar in terms of value. On Tuesday, the dollar had its worst day since last April when the president launched his tariff threats. He was asked about it yesterday. Let's pause for that sound.
With the current value of the dollar, do you think it's declined too much?
No, I think it's great. I mean, the value of the dollar, look at the business we're doing. Dollar's doing great.
Christine, he's saying, I think it's great. I mean, the value of the dollar, look at the business we're doing. The dollar losing value, though, what does that mean for consumers?
Well, it's not a good thing if it's losing value because of confidence in the U.S. economy and the U.S. financial system, as some economists argue. But what the president's talking about there, it does make U.S. exports more attractive overseas, which is something that he would like to see. At the same time, for the factories in this country that import goods from overseas, intermediate goods to build into things, it raises their costs. And if you're an American traveling abroad, it also makes things more expensive as well. It's been a big move over the past year, so it's getting a lot of attention, guys.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.